Twin Talks. I'm Nadia.
And I'm Nikki.
In today's episode, we're going to talk to a local author. His name is James McMahon, and he created these two wonderful books. It's the Loura.
Okay, so James, can you just tell us about the title and why that title?
Well, that's a fair question. Whenever you create any kind of story out of the top of your head that's not based in day-to-day reality, you have to make it still resonate. So the name Loura I stole from an old lullaby, an Irish lullaby called Tura Loura. So Loura is actually both a place and it's an episode in an erased history of 20,000 years ago.
So your book's about fantasy.
Correct.
Yes,
so
I
it's
love it.
urban fantasy meets portal fantasy meets epic fantasy.
Who do you think your audience is? Is it everyone or kids, or who's your audience?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So fantasy readers can start very young. They've subcategorized some of this stuff now into YA or young adult fantasy as well. But true fantasy readers start very early. I'll say The Hobbit is a perfect example. And if they embrace the genre like I did, you stay with it into your elderly years. But it does break off because there could be romantic fantasy. I think of the Danielle Steeles of the world and the Maeve Binchies and that. And I might be writing one of those too. So I'm just going to leave that for a future day. But there's a lot of ways that fantasy just always sort of resonates with people.
And one of my questions is, I'm assuming, I don't want to assume, but I'm assuming you loved to write as a little boy, right?
Yes, I did.
So what inspired you to write the books?
Like a lot of people, the first foray was in poetry, but I was also a professional musician for a period of time, and so I wrote a lot of music. And I wrote my actual first novella when I was 11. Yeah, and it was absolutely terrible. But I can still remember the title is Disaster at Sea. And thankfully it's lost to the annals of time. It is gone and I am not sad about that. But I've never not written something. I just never lost the love for writing. So I actually started these books when I was 21.
Really?
Yeah, back in the days when there were no cell phones, no laptops, no home computers. And it was a pen and paper exercise that took a couple of years, about 280 pages of double-spaced, foolscap paper. And then I put it away for a while.
Okay, so you put it away for a while.
Yeah.
But then what made you come back to it?
Time and availability. So like you guys, right?
Yeah.
We're all parents.
Yeah.
So the demands of career and children can slow you down in your journey. The opportunity came back to me to start writing after I stopped coaching all four of my now adult children. And I thought, I have this time. It's time to circle back to this.
Here's the big question.
Uh-oh.
So if you're out there, if you're someone who wants to write a book but doesn't know where to start, what would be your advice? Where do they start? And where do they go from the manuscript to this product?
So I love your question. And I would say that nobody probably follows the same pathway. I've talked to a number of authors over the years. I've even represented some. I would say what inspires you is there's something that happens in your life. Maybe there's an event, it really depends on what genre you're going to write in. But for myself, it was, I didn't have a job one summer and I was waiting on hearing whether or not I was going to go to law school or journalism school or other areas that I'd applied to. And I thought, well, even if I can't get a job, I can write. So that's when I started writing these books. From there, it became a question of method. Once I actually got back into it, you do have to create a discipline for yourself. And if I were to give, you can certainly be somebody who says, I always write from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. or 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
But having said that, you have to be passionate about it. This was easy to write. I've written other things that it's like extracting teeth. Yeah. But for this, I would get the movie reel starting in my head the minute I sat down in front of my computer and I had to type. And I never judged the work. And if I can give anybody advice on that, never judge the work, just write. When the book is done and you've written the end in your mind or on the paper, then go back and edit meticulously. But if you judge all the time through, I mean, perfection is the enemy of the good, right? Yeah.
And that's what editors are for, right?
Thank you. I
Right?
agree fully.
Right, like you're there
Yeah.
to do your best to put what's running in your head onto the page. And if you keep going back and editing, you're just going to ruin your flow. Let the editors do it.
Yeah, and that's the key word, right? Flow.
Yeah.
You have to embrace the flow, and sometimes it was 3 o'clock in the morning and my wife would look over at me and go, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I just got the greatest idea for the next chapter." And she's like, "Oh, okay." But just go.